Hello, my name is Amber, lifelong neurodivergent, but recently diagnosed. If you're like me, a couple years ago, I honestly didn't even know what neurodiversity even meant. But basically, it's neurological differences that we all have. We have strengths and challenges. It includes conditions such as autism, ADHD, bipolar, and borderline personality disorder, and others. It's estimated that there's about 15 to 20% of the population has some form of neurodivergence. What are neurodivergent traits? So we have common strengths and common challenges. Some of the strengths that we have are pattern recognition. We can be very detail oriented, thanks to hyper focus if you're ADHD. Also, creative thinking and innovation, uh, hyper focus and deep expertise in areas of interest, and problem solving from unique perspectives. Some of those challenges that we have too are sensory sensitivities, functioning difficulties, and social communication differences as well. Um, Also, variable energy and attention regulation that varies by day to day, sometimes hour to hour. I do have ADHD. How to accommodate these challenges? So, a lot of challenges are faced either in the workplace, social interactions, and there's some things you can do as an individual to also accommodate yourself. For example, work life, you can have quiet zones, flexible seating, adjustable lighting. I had a lot of those when I was in an office life doing corporate job. Um, Communication is the big one. I had a lot of trouble with people just saying stuff to me, but when they like emailed with clear written instructions and expectations, I did a lot better that way. Also, communicating with coworkers is just challenging in general. So this overall, even if you're just kind of in passing, having them write it out and send it to you is also a lot easier. Also, work processes is something like a lot of people don't consider. I never did either. It's a way if you can like try to get a way to like chat or email versus calls. That's typically very helpful. I used to work in a call center was my corporate job in veterinary toxicology. So even to this day, I don't want to make a phone call, which is also common in neurodivergent people, even if we haven't worked in a call center. So that was kind of a nightmare job for me. But most of the time, all of these things, if you can kind of take a look at your work life, see what you can make adjustments to, and see if you could get something that would help out a little bit more. And then another thing that we struggle with is accommodations for social settings. So I don't like big groups, small groups, with clear communication on what to expect. So, like when I was in college, I hated the big auditoriums, but like smaller classes, I did much better at a lot better than other things. Also, take social breaks. I'm getting better at this. I went to an event recently, and the music was so loud I kept having to step out. Eventually, I had to end up leaving because I was breaking down from it. But I would take a break before you get to that point. Also, with communication, this it's kind of hard with setting boundaries, but if you are a people pleaser, it's even harder. But I would do that right away. Don't go past your boundaries. Ask me how I know. It can be quite disastrous. Also, staying genuine is also really difficult because we like to try to mask, we try to fit in, but that can kind of lead to feeling fake to either us and sometimes other people notice it as well. So just be your weird, quirky self. You'll find your people. Also, I like to do this where I join ongoing conversations. That seems a lot easier. Um, I don't really feel like I'm butting in, but I just kind of jump in and kind of offer my insight. And with the inclusion part of that, I also focus on what I can contribute to the conversation as well. And then there are things that sometimes at activities you don't even have to speak at. You can just join a games or food or hobbies, something that's going on there at the event you're at. Sometimes that's a little bit easier as well. So as far as personal accommodations, this was a tough one for me. I became self-aware. That's how I got diagnosed. But um, honestly, I should have been doing this way before then. So like identifying what makes you comfortable or uncomfortable in various scenarios. So if that's like space, time, energy, or all the above, it kind of allows you to pinpoint a problem where a problem might be and how to make things more comfortable or workable before it becomes disastrous. Also, creating those comfort zones. So arrange your environment, home, desk, etc., in a way that feels safe and supportive for your well-being. I honestly, this is a must need for me. I couldn't live without it. My room right now is broken up into like a workstation with my desk, a bed, a chair where I have reading and watching TV, and then I have a whole other side that's got crafts and things like that on it. Also, just being kind to yourself, avoid harsh self-criticism, which I know is really hard, and accept your imperfections. Everybody's imperfected. We don't have anybody that's perfect, even though some people would think that they are. By knowing that and kind of working with it, it really helps to kind of brighten your outlook on the situation. This is me. This is one of the ways I accommodate myself when out in the land of other, often noisy people. These are my Soundcore headphones. They have multi-functions. They can block sound completely. It does pretty well, honestly, with the noise canceling feature, but you can also open it up to where it's just regular headphones where you can hear a little bit more, and then you can have transparent, which you can hear a lot. Actually, that one's kind of cool. If you like ASMR, the crinkly sounds with like plastics and thing really amplify, and they really like give me that brain itch. I found out this week. I also call them my blue bullshit blockers because they block out the bullshit, and they literally saved my life. I truly love them. You can find them on Amazon. Just type in like the Soundcore. They have different variations. They should all be pretty well able to handle it. Other things I use. So if you don't want to use the big bulky sound cores, sometimes will do the loop earplugs. And I actually forgot I had those at the event that I had to leave because I was using my headphones and I felt silly. But I do have these and they do help. Um, Other things that I have, I use the Soleil pillow. It's got speakers in it, so you can lay on your side and it's comfortable. Plus, it kind of surrounds you in like comfort, plus sound, so you can block out. I also call this my bitch cave because that's where I go if stuff is really bad, so I don't become a bitch. Um, and then I also really love my weighted hoodie. I have the same color, and it is a 10-pound hoodie, and you can honestly, I wear it as a winter coat. It works great. I wear it when I'm walking dogs. Plus, it kind of you're using that extra weight, kind of burns some more calories. Plus, it keeps you warm. It's affordable too. It's around $100. I've seen a lot more pricier options than that. So this one's a pretty good alternative. It's called a TheraBrand weighted hoodie. And also too, if you don't like the Soleil pillow because it's kind of bulky, there is a less bulkier option. Also have Dormy headband headphones. They have the Dream option is pretty soft, so you can lay on your side. The only downside is the band tends to move along around a lot. So that's the only thing I found that I didn't really care for. So, other tips, I'll leave you with this. Plan ahead, prepare for challenging situations by creating backup plans or strategies to manage stress. So, how this can look different for everybody, but for me, sometimes when I'm going to new places or I don't know where I'm going to go or where I'm going to park and you get really anxious about it, I will sometimes go ahead of time, like if I'm out and about and I'll check out the situation. It makes me feel a lot better when I'm arriving at the destination. Taking time for yourself, very important. Schedule regular breaks, recharge, whether through alone time, meditation, or hobbies. Hobbies are a big one for me. Meditation is great. I also use the Trip app. It also works for the Meta Quest as well, but you can get it on your phone and it works as well too. Self-awareness, this one was huge in me getting I self-diagnosed before I actually got diagnosed. So I was kind of learning about myself. I was learning through social media, honestly, connecting with people that were like me, then actually they all had ADHD, which I now found out I have among other things. So I would say reach inward, try to stand your emotions, your triggers, areas where you can kind of grow better as a person. And also, that can help out if you surround yourself with support, build a network of understanding friends and family or counselors who can uplift you. I know that that's hard for a lot of people. I see that a lot. But you can find things like allies through some friends, support groups, or like I said, just being out in the wild and finding your people. But definitely take some time, be self-aware. It's important. Not something that I would have ever back, 2 years ago even considered all of these, but it's led me to discover who I am as a person. And now that I know that I want to do all the things all the time, due to the ADHD, don't do that. That leads to burnout, which is awful to come out of. But now I'm familiar with everything that, not everything, but a lot of the things that trigger me, and I'm able to be more successful in this life. So I hope you found this helpful. If you do and you want to join my Facebook group, you can find me on Facebook, Beautifully Divergent. I should come up, or you can go to beautifullydivergent.com. Thanks.